You gotta fucking bring people in, right? You gotta fucking bring them in. What's up? What's up? What's up? Let's do this. 30 seconds of bringing you in, but you get like 6.
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.
Yo, man. Oh, Miss Rusty. What's up, everybody? It is Friday, whatever that means in your world. Hopefully, every day's a Friday for you, and you're always working, you're always enjoying life. Do that. Quit your job, do water slides. Doesn't matter. You can be 41 and do that. It's cool. Whatever. So, thank you for being here on the podcast, the public access podcast here on the Quantum Global Broadcasting Network, QGBN. I'm your host, Rusty Diamond. Check out other shows on the network on the QGBN. Thank you to our sponsors, such as Fred Ben Savage as Fuck, Stoner Eats Productions, Hardcoin Entertainment, Hypnosis is Great, and Sock 'em Up. Go to sockemup.org, SOCKEMUP.org. People need socks. Yo, I'm going to talk fast because I only have like 30 minutes with my special guest who is right here, right now. So I'm going to try to go and cram it all in as much as I can because you gotta make the best of the time, right? So right here, right now, we have Josh Perry. There he is. How you doing?
Good, man. How about you, Rusty?
Man, I don't know. I just feel like I got a burst of energy. There was no burst of energy until 3 minutes ago, and now there's a burst of energy. So whatever that means.
That espresso's working, huh?
It is, man. Yeah, I got that running downstairs, and I realized it didn't happen until it's almost 1 o'clock now. I hadn't had any, uh, you know, espresso, nothing, just going. And so then I was like, oh yeah, I should probably do that. It's probably a good idea. Don't want to do it too late. But so you've been on here before,
Yeah.
B5, B6, B7. And so, yeah, thank you for coming and being back here and not being scared off, as I know some other guests may have been. I'm getting a lot more selective with who I have on here now. I felt like I went and just threw a big net and tested the waters, and some stuck, some didn't, but such is life. You're one of the ones that stuck, so I'm happy to have you back on here. And I do like having my people who are hustlers, who are entrepreneurs and have 10 million hats and 64 fires and 129 different fires.
I think I'm up to 132, but
well, it's been a few minutes. There was that 3-minute break while I was doing introductions, and here he is going and putting in some more. And I mean, it seems to not stop. There's always something going for you.
yeah, man.
And
Well, better busy than bored. You know what I mean? And it's like, how you ain't gonna make any forward progress unless you're, taking action. Essentially,
right, even if it's to set something up. I mean, that's still forward progress. To set up and kind of stand back for a minute, but that's still forward progress. That's getting to that point where, and then you can go and work on something else, and it's just kind of never ending. And so,
to that end, though, I would encourage your viewers and any entrepreneurs out there listening to make it a priority to take care of yourself as well. And I fell into that trap for many years of the too much hustle, where 16, 18-hour days were the norm, and just being obsessed to a certain extent with making business successful, and my career or whatever, the thing. But at the end of the day, if you don't prioritize yourself and your health, and especially your mental health, you're really not going to do what you're setting out to do, with either your career or your entrepreneurship venture, or look, even your relationships, right?
Right.
So, like I said, I'd encourage everybody to really analyze and what's important to them, and like make sure that they're investing that time in themselves.
Yeah, and I mean, you can end up being that boss that you hate, and then what happens? What you go and you go do this life, so you're your own boss, but then yeah, you get too much on your plate. Yeah, I was there too, and I don't. I guess I'm glad I did it and learned early that I can't get burned out, and because I think it's going to happen for anybody. I hope that there's someone who can go and just jump into having their own business or businesses and just find that perfect balance of working enough but still being able to have everything else prioritized to be in a healthy spot. And if you can do that and maybe learn from what we're saying right here,
I don't know
great.
about you, but I ain't found anybody like that
I
yet.
me neither, man. Me neither. But maybe today's their lucky day. Someone's going to be listening, and yeah, go and yeah. I mean, I don't know. It was just so easy to just get into it, and I mean, even so, when you're taking a break, I mean, do you still have stuff going through your head, or are you completely able to shut it off? Or like, how long can you shut something off? Shut off your entrepreneur brain.
I would say never, in a way. However, you got to kind of have I refer to it as a parking lot, and a mental parking lot is what I mean by that, right?
Yeah,
Because you shouldn't always pick up an idea and be actively participating in it, or even a thought for that matter, right? Like,
right.
you actually have the option to participate in your thoughts or not. And so it's like this, where you may have something that's weighing heavy on you, or a problem or a fire to put out, but sometimes the best way to handle that fire is to literally just set it off in the parking lot, step back from it, observe the problem from, what I call the 30,000-foot view, and really just take an objective look at it, instead of, you know, just attack it with all that anxiety and fear and worry and all that energy that's just going to screw it up anyway. Um,
That
when
can
when
go
if you
fast.
take the time to, make that separation between the problem and the person, um, you know, even even throughout the day, I take breaks, right? Like, look, my office is in downtown Fayetteville, Arkansas, and it's beautiful here. We've got walking trails and sidewalks everywhere and all that stuff. Big, nice strip we call Dixon Street, with all the bars and different places you can go. And so, I'll walk from my office to the radio station pretty much every day, and it's just to clear my head and set down all the things in the parking lot that I'm working on for the day, so that when I re-engage with that, I'm fresh. I got a fresh set of eyes, and I can objectively attack that
So,
problem.
what's the radio station? Are you working at a radio
105.3.
station as well?
Yeah, I actually have a show on Rockstar Radio Live, that we're going to be starting here in the next couple weeks, and Lane Hero will actually be sponsoring that. Lane Hero is my app company, and pushing that forward. We've got a lot of stuff going on with different major label artists, and I mentioned all the events that we did. We're Paul Wall and the Yin Yang Twins, and DJ Paul and Jellyroll last night, Struggle Jennings and Caitlin Curtis, and all those people that we did events with this week. So, some of those people, and then even we're really focusing on emerging artists and helping them get out, and the show's kind of about what artists are doing for the community.
Okay, so you're going to have on these artists on the show. Is it going to be have them on the show to talk, or as well as have their music played on there?
So Rockstar Radio actually publish and will play any unsigned artist as long as you give us permission to play your music. We'll get you national, distribution on the radio, and then we do a lot of interviews with different artists. Not necessarily the A-list artists that I just mentioned. We throw events for them and do production and stuff like that. But again, we're really focusing on emerging artists and for instance, my friend Young Wag actually opened up for Paul Wall and Yin Yang Twins the other night, and he was on the show, and we had hung out, the night before there talking and figuring out how we can help him further his career in the rap industry.
And so, I mean, with the emerging artists, it's I don't know, because I look at like stocks, and I mean, in a way, because I mean, you're in there, you're one of the early investors, you're helping push, and so, but then you're also getting to give someone a fucking opportunity that otherwise, can just be that lost in a big ocean of millions and millions of different artists, but then yeah, you're able to go and grab a certain amount of them and be able to push them in the right way, be able to show them a model that's worked for you before,
Yeah.
to be able to get them.
Well,
And
honestly, Rusty, like some of that stuff is not a model anymore because, COVID really changed the landscape of the entertainment industry in a lot of ways. And there were a lot of people and a lot of venues and a lot of different places that just went out of business, man. They just couldn't maintain, right? Bad
right,
management or finances, or, there's any number of things that weren't necessarily anybody's fault. But it's very difficult to just plug into a program like the pre-COVID entertainment industry and have that degree of success. It really takes an individualized approach and just really pushing the whole deal. And when I say the whole deal, I mean like the persona and the recording and the artwork and the all the things that go into producing an album have to be curated and lined out specifically for the audience you're trying to achieve, right? And that audience has shifted and changed so much. Nobody's got the playbook anymore. We're all just throwing Hail Marys and flip passes out here, you know what I mean, to a certain
right.
degree. But at the same time, those who have strong players on their team to help support or coach in a lot of cases are the ones that are being successful and continuing to grow the entertainment business.
So what are you thinking, if there's going to be let's say hypothetically sometime in the near future, there's another lockdown that happens. What are you, I mean, because it sounds like you're set to be able to deal with it. I wouldn't assume there'd be in Arkansas that there would be too much. I don't know. I don't remember what you said. It was what happened with Arkansas during the last one. But so if there was another one, but it sounds like for the most part, you'd still be pretty set up to have them be successful,
Well,
because
like anything else in entrepreneurship specifically, it's like when you get thrown a curveball, sometimes you want to swing the bat and sometimes you want to watch the pitch, right?
right,
And so it's kind of like that in that, when the first kind of like lockdown and everything happened, it was some people just seen it and said, okay, well, 80% of my income from touring just went away. What am I going to do here? I'm either going to, go get the 9 to 5 or the remote work or whatever is available there. Or the free money that they were giving out at the time, whatever the case may be.
right,
And then there were others who were like, fuck it, I'm gonna double down. I'm gonna go hard. I'm gonna push virtual events. I'm gonna do virtual concerts. And I think some of those people are the ones that are still succeeding. And that what it really did and what it really does is just like anything else in the economy, it eliminates the bad actors out of the market because, you know, I don't know how familiar with the entertainment industry your viewers are, but it's not exactly the most ethical, scrupulous, just cut and dry industry, right? There's a lot of snakes and shady stuff and bad dealings and rappers getting shot every day kind of stuff. And
Absolutely.
that can be challenging to navigate when you're a 18 or 19-year-old kid who just got stuffed off in a lockdown.
Right. And yeah, I mean, especially once, you know, once they start gaining momentum and then, yeah, and having to, yeah, kind of either sink or swim. And so were you dealing with the virtual concerts? Was that something you were doing? And I mean, were there,
I helped advise some. I didn't really necessarily do a lot of that stuff myself, but it was like I had done a lot of virtual events and done different stuff before that. So it was, I was getting some calls and people were like, "Hey, how do I do this?" Or, technical aspect kind of stuff. But my main focus was building out the infrastructure for when they finally released the lockdown and kind of scooping up some of those pieces that fell out the bottom of bad actors getting pushed out of the industry.
so you went and took their place from them,
That's how the market
natu
works, bro. You know what I
naturally
mean?
getting
Like,
fucking, yeah, taken out, which, yeah, was probably a good thing and a good thing for both, people behind the scenes and then whoever their artists are as well. And I mean, it's
I kind of have a different view of it because to me, it's good for the people and it's good for the clients. And it's good because, part of the reason I got involved in the entertainment industry, other than, I played professionally myself and stuff many years ago, but was that I understand that there's a responsibility that comes along with doing these events and doing these shows, right? Like I'm responsible for core memories of tens of thousands and in some cases hundreds of thousands of individuals that will take that with them and that will, either help them through their daily lives and the trials and tribulations and ebbs and flows of life, or it can inspire them to be greater, right? And to keep pushing or to keep going or not give up or however you want to frame that. And that is really like the why behind it all for me. And so it's really focused on that client and that and I say client, but I mean it even comes down to like one random person in a 30,000 foot or 30,000 person crowd hearing that song and it affecting them on a deep level.
yeah. And I think that's important. I mean, yeah, just even one person out of a group, um, really good, especially if it's dialed in and it's not very generic for everybody. For everybody, but there are certain parts that fucking really are zeroed in and someone can really just
Yeah.
identify right with it. And yeah, it could.
Well, that's why Jellyroll is the number one artist in the world right now, right? Because he's the epitome of, and I was just talking about this before we hopped on the podcast with um the greatest story ever told in the history of the world through any culture is a comeback ultimately. And a lot of people can relate with that, and especially, people like me and Jelly that come from street life and, shitty backgrounds and just horrible situations to, he and I are sitting in front of a stage of several thousand people last night. Um, and there was one instance in particular, because I'm running around the show and stuff, and I actually had there's only one charging station at this particular venue, right? And so I had to go all the way to my car and come all the way back to this charging station because my phone's fixing to die. And I meet this guy at the charging station, and you can tell he's had a little bit of a rough go, and I just start talking with the guy, and I showed him the picture that I had me and Jellyroll that we had taken like an hour before or something. And Jellyroll's literally on the stage performing when I show this dude this. And I just tell him, hey man, maybe this is something that'll inspire you. And I'm like just sitting having a conversation with him. And he turns around and tells me that he's 30 days clean from meth. And that, you know, what Jellyroll's example there was, you know, something that really helped him through, and that's why he was there. And as well as he shared with me he had a daughter, you know, and that stuff. So it was just kind of one of those random moments of meeting some stranger. And I even told him, I was like, yeah, man, I'm just, you know, kind of some stranger, but ultimately he didn't know me from Adam. And I roll up and I had, you know, a picture with the artist behind the stuff. And I told him, I said, look, man, I'm a year sober myself, right? So just keep going and you know, be encouraged that you can go really far when you begin to reallocate your life in that way.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows if he hadn't been 30 days sober, would he have money for the ticket to go to the show? Because that money could have gone towards you know, whatever.
Yeah, just say,
yeah,
man, it's the next fix, you know.
yeah,
That stuff will take over your life if you let it.
yeah. And so, I mean, that's cool enough to be able to have this money, like, you know, kind of almost burning a hole in your pocket, because it's odd when you are so used to not having money, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, I can go to a concert. I can go see fucking Jellyroll right now. Like, okay, all I have to do is just not do this for a minute. And
Well, and it's funny you say that because, you know, through my entrepreneurship journey, that was actually a really, really, really big struggle that I had to contend. Excuse me. When you come from no money, you come from like a lack mindset, and you really like, I call it you shitting on yourself, right? Because you
yeah,
just don't have the mentality, even when you get the money, to be able to manage it correctly and to allocate those funds for what, you know, their best use would be. And you know, growing up poor myself, and then you know, getting some money and notoriety and stuff. I mean, I had a job one year where I made $328,000, and I couldn't show you a pot to piss in after that year. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But it was because my money story internally was coming from a place of lack, and you know, it took me changing to uh, a a mindset of abundance, and believing that life is for me and not against me or being done to me, right? That really helped me to be successful in a lot of ways from a financial perspective.
Well, and I mean, there's so much, even with anyone, I mean, not knowing how to or what to do with finances. Um, I mean, especially, I don't know, I assume our age, but I assume that the younger generation has probably less idea of what to do with it. I'm not sure if that's 100% true, but I mean,
Your show,
yes,
it doesn't have to be true.
yeah, right, right. It's, I mean, I like to see, you know, it be able to have an easy time, you know, being able to take money and, you know, have money and not want to just piss it away. Cause I pissed away a good amount of money when I was younger, and just wish, you know, I would have done something different. And, but I don't know if it's one of those things you have to learn the hard way, but then hopefully if someone's listening to this show, they can, you know, at least they got that to go with. They
Start
had
having the
the don't
conversation,
burn
right?
out. Yeah, I think, I mean, well, I mean, how much of life is needed to be better with conversation? And with so much conversation being shut down, or I mean, that's a huge
Really
um
just think it's about like how you define success. And I think I mentioned something about this in my last appearance on your podcast. I don't want to go into too much detail, but it's like, you know, at one point in my life, I was playing music professionally, and doing some other illicit activities. But my journey was to pursue fame, right? And so I got it, and I got a guy offered me a record deal, and it was a shitty deal, and I literally wiped my ass with it and handed it back to the guy, which was a really cocky thing to do in hindsight, probably not the best method, but um, and then I kind of retooled my stuff to focus on money, right? Because I hadn't had shit at that point in my life. I had made over $60,000 a year, and so $100,000 was like this huge pinnacle of success that I had built up in my head. And then I got it, and it was very unfulfilling. Again, I made $328,000 one year and just blew it all basically. And so then I went and I pursued, having a family and fulfillment and stuff in that. And I love my family and my kids and everything, but ultimately I had to turn it inward and really define what success was to me. If I was a minimalist on a desert island, right? Like, and if you kind of think about it that way, what ends up happening is you can take all of these experience and stuff and all of these failures and stuff and all of this like bullshit that you've had to put up with through your life, and you can retool that into your power, man. And that to me is success, and serving the example to inspire others, by retooling, just some really stupid shit I've done, right?
Right.
Is what it's all about for me. And so, the digits in the bank account are great, and you got to have them, and that's a resource that is necessary to get the energy out that you're trying to get out, right? Because it's just a transfer of energy and value, but at the end of the day, there's a lot more ways to transfer value than monetary gain too.
Yeah. And I mean, learning from stupid shit. I mean, I could write a book about learning from stupid shit and failures
Let's
and
write one, man. I'm a literary
yeah.
agent too, right?
Well, I think it's time. I actually just yeah, I guess it's time. Yeah, I just did a book uh sort of. But it's on there. It's on Amazon. And but it's not about that. This one's about not learning teaching people not to piss in the pool. But this would be a little different. This would be I mean there needs to be a book about doing stupid shit and learning from your mistakes. And I mean, yeah, I can say I could write the book up.
I can't think of anybody better than you, Rusty. And I
Yeah,
say that with all the endearment and love in the world.
I'm cool with that, man. I understand. And I know I've fucked up. I've fucked up plenty of times. I've had plenty of you know, personal things fuck up. I had plenty of businesses fuck up. But I've learned from all those. I've probably done some of them over to a degree, but I did learn from that then. I, eventually I'm going to learn, and some things I might not realize are as dumb or as fucking, you know, harmful to me or people around me as I had thought, and kind of glossed over those. But then the more that I, realize how shitty they were, how important it is to make those better, and how much it has helped. And like without me being a dumb fuck for however many years, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I'd still be fucking, spinning my gears and kind of getting nowhere doing the same shit. And yeah, if you do dumb shit, man, it's not a bad
Get
thing.
dumb results.
You get dumb results. But if you learn from those dumb results, like you said, that can be your power. That like who else
We
has
talk
that
about it.
story?
We talk about it a lot in training salespeople and stuff, and that, and this is kind of the way I frame it. We don't ever lose. And when people hear that, they're like, damn, that's a cocky statement, But but ultimately, I say we don't ever lose because if we do lose, we learn, right? Like if we fail, we learn from that, and we go attack it again. And David Goggins has this really, really just powerful, powerful speech on this where he talks about, and everybody's heard the get knocked down 7 times, get up 8, but the way that he really frames it is that nothing and no one wants to stand up against something or someone that will never give up. Like if you think about it, man, and I'm gonna kind of use like a biblical reference, David and Goliath, right? Goliath is like this huge giant, he's so powerful, and he's defeated all these armies, and David's like this dude with a slingshot, right? But if in this example Goliath hit David and he just kept getting up, man, by like the 30th or 40th time, Goliath's going, what the hell is it going to take to beat this dude? He just keeps coming back. And that little bit of doubt seeping in for your opponent is where you can really just attack it. And you know what I mean? That's your moment to strike and hit the slingshot between the eyes or whatever, because ultimately that doubt and that fear that you elicited in somebody else, because you won't give up, because they know at some point that there isn't anything they can do that'll make you give up. Like you win.
Yeah, but you win before you even hit him in the face with the fucking slingshot. Hit him in between the eyes, like
you won here and you won here. You know what I mean? And that's what it takes to truly win and to truly hit success, right?
Right. And I mean, it's so easy to just have this thing like, oh no, I can't do it. It's fucking odds are against me. It's like I couldn't do it. Like it's not my fault. Like right. And like what that doesn't teach you, one doesn't teach you a fucking thing in the world. And two, yeah, you can. Like just like you can blame a million other things, but until you look inward and you're like, okay, what can I do? This is what I can do. This is what I have. These are my skills. And every time I'm missing, I'm learning something about fucking Goliath here and like where like, oh, Goliath fucking, if you shoot down low and shoot up high, like he has like a little bit of a slow down right there. You can't do it too fast. I mean, I'm just going to keep trying that. Oh, okay. I see. Like if I go and I start hitting him in the face, that like he has kind of a slow reaction trying to block that. And yeah, I mean, it just takes that one time to fucking strike. And then one time's not a lot. It's it's not. And I mean, people, it's so easy just to blame anything else. And that's
the
sucks.
Most proficient waste of time ever is blame and complaint, because literally the breath that you're using to complain or blame somebody else. And look, Jocko Willink has this concept called extreme ownership. I'm sure a lot of people have read that book and stuff. And his kind of philosophy is that even if you know for a fucking fact that it is not your fault, right? That there is no way in a million years they could pin it on you for the blame. If you accept the blame and the responsibility for that mistake or whatever, like you have the ability to learn from that.
Right.
And so it's like, creating excuses or blame or deflecting or any of that stuff is really just harming you, right? Because you are, again, shitting on yourself is what I call it.
Yeah.
When in reality, if you took that same effort and you said, okay, well, I know I didn't, wreck my girlfriend's car. My girlfriend wrecked it. But what can I learn about how we manage that piece and step back out of the situation a little bit? Say, what can I do? Because I know I can control me to remedy that situation or make it better. Like,
yeah,
that's opportunity, right? And that's how we grow. And it doesn't feel good to accept that blame, but you can grow from it.
Yeah, you can learn from it. And I mean, yeah, it's the same thing. It's like someone you're walking down the street, someone fucking punches you, and you fucking go, you like hit the ground, you become paralyzed or something. I don't know, but you can blame that person forever, or you can be like, well, what can I do from this? Like, what am I gonna do next time I'm going down the street? Like, next time I go down the street, I'm gonna be fucking having my head on. So that's one more tool in his arsenal
When it
to
may
have.
just be, what can I do from here in a case like that? Like,
Right,
what can I help other people learn from this scenario? And how can I inspire other people? And how can I continue to live my fullest, most defined, fulfilled potential?
right, that too. And I mean, that's just as impactful for you as it is for somebody else. And so, yeah, it's fucking, don't be a fucking bitch. Uh, just take responsibility for anything, even if you don't think it's your fault. Make it your fault.
Yep.
Make it your fault, and find something you can do better with it. Josh, dude, thanks for being on. Yeah, I know you're a man on the go, and you gotta get you in, get you out. Gotta talk really fast if I can. This whole time, need to get as much Josh time as I can. So,
I'm
I'll
happy to have been on the show and glad that you asked me back for a second time, and really love what you're doing for your network, and appreciate the conversation and stuff. So
thanks, man. Yeah, dude. I'll have you back on again. So yeah, it's good, and I think it's something that the people that are listening and watching need to hear and need to listen to, whatever, however they want to take it in, they get to do it. So yeah, dude, thanks again for being here. Yeah, we'll stay in touch. All right, bud.
thank you, bro. Woo woo.
All right. There you go. Josh motherfucking Perry, dude. Hell yeah. I enjoyed that. I enjoy getting to talk with him. He's a fucking man of many hats. A man of many hats. A man who wears many hats. I can talk slow now because he ain't here and I'm on my time. I'm on my time now, motherfucker. Look at those pit stains. Hell yeah, you guys. It's getting hot here. These are fucking old pit stains too, I think. They might not be. They might be new pit stains. You guys like hearing about pit stains? That might be the next podcast. The Pit Stain Podcast. Coming soon on the QGBN. But you guys look out for other shows on here. There's some more that are coming down the alley and more content for all of you. So thank you everyone for listening. And leave a message here. We'll play it on the show. Leave a message 503-974-6420, or maybe you don't like leaving messages and you think,
Messages? Messages? We don't leave no stinking messages!
but I need messages 503-974-6420, and that is the show, man. Boom.
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker. It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.
Ernest! Ernest! Ernest!
Yes, Pee-wee.
You brought the snacks, right?